Action Jackson. So we getting a little bit of Action Jackson. It's your boy Crypto Millie back with another one, 2 for Tuesday, double up day. And we're going to be talking about crypto today, altcoins. Now, we are seeing some activity in the greater altcoin market. And I will say this, if Bitcoin is able to reclaim all-time highs as support and enter price discovery, this is a great sign for altcoins. As we know, Ethereum has been showing tons of life. I actually want to pull up the ETH charts for you guys. I'll pull it up here because first and foremost, before we show the ETH, it's important to note that the Bitcoin dominance again is showing that weakness right around the same time. It kind of like topped out that 70, anywhere between 60 and 70 area. We see the top out of the Bitcoin dominance. And what do we need to truly have an altcoin season based on y'all definition, right? We need Bitcoin dominance to capitulate with the DXY and the VIX to hold somewhere between 15 and 19, which we're getting like 2 out of 2. Now we just need the Bitcoin dominance. And when I say the DXY below 100, so we did see capitulation from the DXY, but now we just need the Bitcoin dominance to capitulate. And I'm sorry, I left out the big boss. We need the Fed to cut. We need the Fed to exit quantitative tightening, right? We need to exit out of that, right? That's the big boss. So we got 2 out of 4 things going for us. Now we're waiting for the Bitcoin dominance to capitulate, and we're waiting for some more activity, or at least give us an idea what the Fed is thinking. Now, in my opinion, I truly believe that the market has yet to price in these 3 federal rate cuts, which is in September, October, December. So I am banking right now, right? Regardless if we dip, if this is a false breakout, regardless, I am banking right now that the market has not priced in these federal rate cuts. And I will take that. I'd rather take the chance, right? And in a responsible way, not like I'm just spending all of my, putting my whole damn mortgage in crypto, but I prefer, right, in a responsible fashion to bet on the fact that the market hasn't priced this in, right? In the midst of that, man, we're getting some bullish news. The ETFs continue to show us institutional interest and, in fact, institutional dominance, because one would argue that the retail just isn't here. I know I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you can see that the TVL is rising. You can see that the ETFs are coming in for not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum. You can see that that stable coin market is rolling up as many of the laws are starting to change. In fact, speaking of laws, this is actually a bullish catalyst that no one's talking about. So if you have been under a rock, the SEC DeFi regulatory chairman, right, Paul Atkins, he came out and he made a he spoke on a pro DeFi stance. SEC chair Paul Atkins' recent statements position DeFi and self-custody as a fundamental American rights, representing significant regulatory shift with strong bullish implications for cryptocurrency sector. The proposed innovation exemption framework could accelerate institutional adoption and drive substantial growth in DeFi protocols, self-custodial wallets, and blockchain infrastructure. These are some of the bullish implications, right? So when you mix in the fact that I don't truly think the market has priced in those 3 federal cuts with this news that basically they're saying, hey, if you're developing code, right, for these wallets, right, basically it's legal now, right? It's not like, oh my God, you created a wallet, or you created the tornado, you know what I'm saying? All these DeFi platforms were really being looked at in a very negative light from the former, office, right, in their regulatory, the way that they stand and what they believe in. But now, right, a lot of this innovation is being accepted specifically here in the US, right? And you should see a lot more Web2 developers and builders coming into crypto and Web3 now, which again will bring more adoption, bring more retail. It's going to bring everybody, right? Because they're going to tell their friends, okay, we can build this stuff. It's legal now, right? Because it really makes sense when you think about how things work on the blockchain, whether you look at it from a transparent point of view, or you just look at it from a as a creator, as a brand, and being able to truly have sovereignty over your situation, meaning you're in control and not a third party. So I like what I'm seeing here. Institutional capital attraction, we're already seeing that. Clearer regulations make DeFi protocols more attractive to institutional investors previously hesitant to due to legal gray areas. Well, now we're talking about huge companies like maybe Amazon getting into crypto, right? Maybe Apple buying Bitcoin, right? These huge companies will now start buying because the shackles are off. BlackRock's Spot Bitcoin ETF becomes the fastest ETF in history to reach 70 billion AUM. This shit is the fastest, right? So, and people can call crypto a scam, whatever, but you can't ignore the numbers. The numbers are right there in your face, right? I just talked about this. Developer innovation boost. Rejection of code publication as brokerage activity removes major regulatory threats, spurring blockchain infrastructure innovation. These are some of the things you want to keep an eye on. Staking and wallet adoption. Clear regulations drive growth in proof of stake networks and wallet providers, increasing demands for tokens like ETH, ADA, and SOL. So you could see these ecosystems and even some of the rising ecosystems like Tau. Very, very bullish on Tau. I think Barry Gilbert himself been going on a press run, and he says, hey, Tau is easy 10x from here. Right? There's a billionaire telling you Tau is an easy 10x from here, right? The framework positions the U.S. to compete with crypto-friendly jurisdictions like Singapore and Dubai, potentially capturing significant value creation in global crypto economy and benefiting U.S.-based projects investors. Another thing to pay attention to, right? You just go over to CoinMarketCap and you go to U.S.-based cryptocurrencies. U.S.-based cryptocurrencies, and, you know, maybe you see some things that you like, right? Monitor these things closely. Temporary exemptions, internal opposition. There's always somebody in the opposition internally that just don't agree with crypto. SEC commissioners like Caroline Crenshaw express skepticism about simplifying crypto regulations and potential leading up to diluted policy. So just pay attention to that. The primary beneficiaries here is ETH, and we see ETH really showing some life. Layer 1 blockchains hosting DeFi applications, self-custody wallet providers and technologies, proof of stake networks like tokens like ETH, ADA, SOL, stuff that you can stake your shit is now legal, so you can make that passive income now with staking. US-based cryptos and blockchain infrastructure companies, what I just said. You should add those to your watch list. I like DAG Constellation, right? Great beta play to Jasmy if you're not really into Jasmy and you want something that's US based that's covering data protocol, big data market. I like Constellation, which is DAG. I like Zebek, ZBCN, right, as a payroll token, right? So there's a lot of stuff that can benefit from the easing and the pro DeFi stance here from the SEC. Right, so guys, still opportunity in the altcoin market. We haven't seen Bitcoin dominance actually give us that ultimate RSI cross here on the downside, like we've seen from ETH, which gave us an ultimate RSI cross. The total 3 is looking to give us an ultimate RSI cross. I tell you what, right? If the total 3, because we just seen it from ETH, and you see how ETH is moving once it got that ultimate ultimate RSI is a very great indicator, and it's powerful. When this shit does a cross, whether it's to the upside or downside, the moves are very powerful and very efficient. Like the indicator is very efficient. So the total 3 hasn't gotten the ultimate RSI cross just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does in the next week or so, 2 weeks, because I think the total 2 did. So Ethereum is really leading the charge right now, and you can see the total 2 just gave us a ultimate RSI cross here, right? We know Bitcoin got one. We know the total cryptocurrency. I don't know if the total cryptocurrency market got one. We know total 2 though, because ETH and Bitcoin. But let's say if ETH and Bitcoin is enough for the total cryptocurrency. Yeah, total cryptocurrency market is definitely looking to set all-time highs and enter price discovery. Guys, this is fucking bullish. This is bullish. The market is really bullish right now. It is really bullish right now. And I'm seeing it across the board. If you want to say, well, is there any weaknesses in the stock market? You can see you got that ultimate RSI cross here on the stock market. It's important to note that a lot of these charts are coming up to key necklines. And these key necklines are sitting at price discovery. So if you see some of these stocks getting into price discovery, these top cryptos getting into price discovery, one can only assume that we are one step closer to a full-blown altcoin season. Guys, let me know what you think. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.